tweet for the
tweet, wasn't it?
uh,
True.
let me read the top part of that tweet you sent me, Doc. People have been saying for years that we should talk to Mexico. The problem is that Mexico is an abuser of the United States, talking but never giving. It has been this way for decades. Either they stop the invasion of our country by drug dealers, cartels, and human traffickers, and that's why the meme was placed underneath from Pursuing Jesus. So, Pursuing Jesus for that tweet. But appropriate tweet for the right time. Awesome. You just, God is on your side tonight, Doc.
Somebody's got to watch out for me and keep me on the straight and narrow. I'm saying it's a full-time job, honey.
Okay, we got that's another Meghan Markle. Let me see what it is. No, that's another one about Meghan Markle. We're going to skip that one because we just talked about that, Doc.
Okay.
We'll skip that one. We just did that one. Okay, here we go. Trump makes a surprise appearance at McLean Bible Church. Congregation prays for him, which of course got twisted in the media. You probably know more about the apology issue. Can you speak to that, Doc?
Well, yes. Apparently, there were some people in his audience that was upset that he prayed for the president. And guys, I'm just saying that to me was the saddest commentary on Christian faith that I have seen in a very long time. And I'm going to tell you why. As a Christian, there should never be a time that you're unwilling to pray for another person. All of us, but for God's grace, falls short. And where you think that you're big enough to not want to pray for somebody else that is in need of our prayer, that is running our country, that is making decisions that affects the whole world, because he's not just the president of our country. Let's face it, he's president of the world. Where America goes, the world follows. It's just that them aren't smart enough to know, or at least they're wanting to take the world in a different direction. And guys, we need to pray for the men, whether you like him or you don't. Even when I was upset about Obama for 8 long, agonizing years, I'm just saying, I still prayed for the men because our country depended on it. I didn't cut my nose off to spite my face, and people in this congregation complained about it. Well, the pastor wrote a soft apology, for saying that when POTUS had come in, it was unexpected, and that he felt like he should pray for him as the leader of our country. It was a very soft apology. It was tepid. It just made me want to puke. God speaks to that in the Bible, that lukewarm Christians will be. He can abide by a lukewarm Christian. He will spew them out of his mouth, because it's better to be hot or it's better to be cold than tepid. And I'm sorry, that pastor was not a leader. I wrote him a note and told him for praying for our president, that I was very disappointed in his choice to not stand up, stand tall, and be a leader in his congregation as a minister in that church. And I was very disappointed in his choice. So I think while POTUS was doing something wonderful, he was enjoying his Sunday afternoon and stopped in to pray for the victims of the latest shooting, and they prayed over him. The man, and you can tell because POTUS is a lot like me, honey, he knows that it's better to be late than ugly. And he still came in and took his cap off after being hours on the golf course, sweating like, who knows what, and then comes in there and takes his cap off and looks ugly, even though knowing that the mainstream media and everybody else would have a field day making him look tacky about it. And I'm just saying, that just made me so mad, made me love him more, made me just madder at them, and very ashamed of a man that would call himself a Christian leader. So, little Mr. Pastor, if you're listening to this, or if you get wind from somebody in your congregation about my remarks, I'm very disappointed in you. You had a chance to lead the world, to show people to be bigger than politics, that God is bigger than politics, and you didn't. You know, the Bible tells us that leaders in the church are held to a higher standard. That man, in my books, fell woefully short. So I hope that President Trump does not take all this to heart. I don't think he does, but I pray for him every day that, you know, he's human, and this has got to wear on him. On the inside, though, I think he would die for you, let anybody know. So I think that it's just more reason all the time, you know, for us to pray for him every day. And every time you think of it during the day, because you don't ever know what he's facing, what he's dealing with, what he's making decisions about. You know, the man just never quits. And I'm so proud of him. But I'm going to pray for him every day, and I hope you do too.
All right, Doc, we got about 30 more tweets to go through. So
I'm sorry, I'll hurry.
It's 10:30.
Okay.
So
The pressure's on. The pressure's on. Go ahead.
Okay. Ready. We're going to start flying here, folks, so to try to get it all in. Ready. Oh, this is not a tweet, but it's an article from the AP. Trump halts fetal tissue research by government scientists. So that's going along with what we've always talked about on our show.
They can still use private funds, but it keeps taxpayer dollars from it, because they're getting it from abortions, from tax-funded abortions, guys. So this was another win for life.
I tried to bring this up on the show with Pri and on the Mac Files, our combined effort, but unfortunately a dog was right at my back window. It's a big, huge Doberman. I muted myself, and for some reason Zoom would not let me unmute myself. So I wanted to bring this point up. What the left is doing now is changing from "it's my body, my choice." If you've noticed, the rhetoric is now women's health care saving women, right? So who would
like
be
they always
against
do
that?
whenever it comes to election time.
Yep.
They try to tell everybody that Planned Parenthood does more mammograms and PAPs than they do abortions, and that's laughable.
But you notice the rhetoric is
BS. You're wrong.
You notice the rhetoric has changed from "my body, my choice" to women's health care. That's important because it plays on people's emotions and gets them to think, well, why would you be against a woman having access to health care? That it's not access to health care, period. You know, it's just wordplay. So you gotta listen to the words that they use, and they use them very effectively on the left.
And if they were so pro-women, they'd be concerned about how the woman feels for the rest of her life after she kills her baby.
Right. Go watch the movie Unplanned. That'll help you make that decision.
And
right?
FYI, for anybody that might have missed it, our little gal, I can't remember her name right off the top of my head. The little gal that was that did the Unplanned movie, she had a little baby boy this last week. Excuse me, I got choked. She had a little baby boy this week. I was so excited for her. So it's nice to see good things happen when people have really put themselves out, because that her changing stance has really come at a high price for her, and I'm very proud of her.
Next tweet, Doc. I'm going to keep you going.
Keep on. Let's roll.
A tweet from Pinkabout, and I followed her for a while. Trump gifted the Queen a brooch during his visit. Obama gifted her an iPod filled with his speeches. One loves and respects women, the other loved himself. That I remember that, the iPod deal with all his speeches on it.
I was so embarrassed when they did that. That to me would be high in poor taste for a gift. And is that not just the loveliest thing that President Trump and Melania picked a brooch? Because that's something that I think that particularly a woman from her time would really appreciate. Just shows their thoughtfulness. And it also shows a bummer for what he really was, as we all know, a narcissist. So a narcissist sociopath that thinks that he's the only one that matters in the world.
I'm surprised he didn't give her an autographed photo of himself, too.
I'm sure he probably did go with it. I wouldn't put it past him.
Next
and
up.
Melania, I'm sorry, before we go on, did Melania rock this week or what? She always does. She always makes us so proud. I just had to give a shout out to our lovely FLOTUS. she just makes me so proud to have her represent our country for a change. It's been so refreshing.
Next up is from the Epic Times. I got to keep us rolling, Doc. We got about 20 more to
God, I
go.
can
And
stay up.
24 minutes, less than 24 minutes. So here we go. The Epic Times. Today's top news. Real Donald Trump. U.S. to offer U.K. phenomenal post-Brexit deal. Number 2. School resource officer during Florida shooting faces charges. And number 3. Tiananmen Square massacre remembered in Washington. That was the Epic Times. Their 3 top headlines a few days ago.
Did you know that there were still people that don't realize that they said that there was really upwards of, I believe, 20,000 people killed in Tiananmen Square that day when they're only claiming it was, how many did they claim? 2,200, something like that. It was a low number. And they said that really that they were estimating that it was around 20,000 people that were killed. Isn't that sad?
I mean, it's communist China. You're not going to get the truth out of them, so.
No, you won't. You'll never get it.
Hi,
and
Tigress.
I'm sorry you went so fast
Scott.
on that one. I missed the first 2 points. What was the first 2 again?
The first 2 from that Epic Times tweet. U.S. to offer U.K. phenomenal post-Brexit trade deal. Which, remember, Obama warned them, if you get out of the U.K., you're going to have a hard time getting a trade deal. You know, you can't come and get a trade deal. We won't negotiate with you about the UK.
We're going to make you go to the back of the line, honey. And now POTUS is saying, you know what? We're going to increase our trade. He's offering them really a phenomenal deal, and it's going to be better for both of us. So, again, you know, he turns lemons into lemonade.
Well, UK, if you leave, there's going to be no magic wand.
That was pretty good, Phil. Pretty good.
All right, Doc. You know what? I got 5. Let me count them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tweets from Secretary Acosta. Let me read through them all, okay, and then we'll talk about it. So we knock out 5, and then we only got 50 more to go. Okay. First one from Secretary Acosta regarding jobs. 470,000 new manufacturing jobs have been created since January 2017, made in America. So that's huge. Let's go on to the next one. We're going to go through these quickly.
From our first week, I believe it was, about the manufacturing.
Next one is 445,000 new transportation and warehousing jobs have been created since January 2017. So that's almost 500,000 jobs right there. We'll slam through the next one. Is 263,000 new jobs were created last month. 1 month alone, 263,000 new jobs. Next one is from Secretary Acosta again, with 7.5 million job openings. Job openings have exceeded job seekers for 13 straight months. So over a year now, we've got more job seekers, more job openings than job seekers. That's phenomenal.
It is. We didn't ever have that under Obama.
Next
Even though he's trying to steal credit, we know where the credit goes.
Last one, Doc. Secretary Costa, 1.2 million jobs in goods producing industries have created since January of 2017. So 1.2 million new jobs in goods producing industries. So we're making things again.
These are all industries that were being decimated under left-wing policies. Again, guys, if anybody is out there on the fence, the Dems are the party of death, killing babies even after they're born, all the way up to after they're born. Who's going to be next? Your 2-year-old or your granny or a special needs family member? Who's going to be next on their list? They're the party of high taxes. They want to tax you up to 90%, guys. 90%. Can you imagine living on 10% of what you make and doing exactly what they tell you to do? And guys, they want to take away our free speech, our Second Amendment, so we can defend ourselves against them. They're the party of no. We're the party of winning. You can see it in the jobs. They're all flooding back.
But Donald Trump said he was going to bring these jobs back. What's he got, a magic wand? There's no bringing his jobs back.
Honey, his magic wand's a hell of a lot bigger than Obama's. We might have to get our magnifying glass and our tweezers out to find his.
All right, Doc. We got 2 tweets coming from Scott Pressler. I'm going to read them both quickly. First one, my phone has been blowing up with calls in the past few days. I've been invited to Burlington, Vermont, Ashland, Ohio, Reading, Pennsylvania, and Lubbock, Texas. I'm spending the entire summer teaching Republicans how to register new voters. Game on. So, again, Scott Pressler doing yeoman's work out there in the field for the Republicans.
And, guys, if you didn't hear me, that's my hometown, Lubbock, Texas. Scott Pressler is going to my hometown. Now, what are the odds on that? It must have been because he heard us Texas Tech Raiders were excellent people. But, guys, it's again, he's everywhere. He was talking about how he was teaching people how to register voters in the airport while he was sitting there in left-wing libnut country. He was registering voters for the Republican side. So if he can do it anywhere, we can too. So we just gotta. He's throwing the gauntlet down. We gotta belly up to the bar and start getting everybody registered because. Guys, if you haven't noticed, 2020 is right around the corner. We don't have long. So, again, if you don't know how or you're unsure of yourself, look at our show from last week because we had a link to an excellent handbook that a lot of our MAGA people had put together and let us put it up. So, if you're unsure and you need some help, go back to last week's show and you can find the link for it.
And that's pinned on our Twitter page @winningtv_. So.
Oh, it is? Okay, good.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that.
Okay,
Yay,
next tweet from Scott Pressler, and we got 49 more to go. There are 67 counties in Florida. Wait, didn't I just read that? No, okay. As of April 30th, 2019, there are 242,983 more registered Democrats than Republicans. We must focus on registering new Republican voters. That's why I'm coming to Jacksonville this Saturday. So that was today. In July, I'm coming to Tampa and Sarasota. So again, Scott Pressler doing actual groundwork. So beautiful job, Scott.
And I know that in Florida they've got Annie runs a very active re-election committee for him. So I know they've got the ground game going. We just got to keep shoring them up. So, you MAGA people out in Florida, y'all got to belly up to the bar and start getting your people registered. That's what we're having to do in Texas because, they're trying to turn us blue. And it'll be over my dead body before they do, is all I'm saying. I will be out.
Remember the challenge. Get one person registered.
Trying to get them done.
Remember our challenge. Get one person registered. Get them to get one person registered to vote Republican. Got to win back the House. It's not just, it'd be nice to win the popular vote in the Electoral College, but got to win back the House. Must win back the House from Nancy Pelosi.
This next time we've got to have the House, the Senate, and POTUS. We got to have all three for our agenda to go forward, guys.
Okay, next up is an article from Breitbart. March for Life president, pro-life movement winning everywhere in America. And yes, it is. It's finally making the turn, right? Like everything, left, right, everything always, it went far left. Now it's starting to balance back out. It always. And
I believe that this week was the first week that we had stats come out where the majority of the millennials are supporting POTUS. And we covered in our previous shows that they are also swinging back to preserving life, to standing up for life. And that just is so encouraging. We've got to get the word out, guys. We've got to be better at marketing than the Democrats, because I think that's why they were successful for so long, is because we went to sleep. It's time to get back up, get out there.
One of the messages in the chat, the popular vote doesn't count. I know that. But the Democrats have used that like a sledgehammer for the last 2.5 years. Hillary won the popular
When
vote.
it wasn't
Hillary won
true.
the and that's why the states are trying to pass laws in blue states to say that all of their votes go to the popular winner, which won't hold up in the Supreme Court, but it'd be nice to win the popular vote along with the Electoral College. That's all I'm saying.
Well, because I firmly believe we did, and I don't think he got credit for it. Because if you back out all the illegal aliens that they have found nationwide, and that's just probably the tip of the iceberg. We don't. Those people were shipping people across the United States to vote. So I don't think we really even know how many people really voted for Trump. I think any that voted for Hillary were probably illegal or on their way to prison and just didn't want to go there.
Okay, Doc. Next article is from Facebook that you sent me. I really I'm not 100% sure about this article, so I'm going to put a disclaimer out there for our show to say I don't know if this is 100% true. New Israeli cancer vaccine may cure 90% of all cancer types in one shot. I know the Israelis were working on something. They said they'd have something by the end of the year, or were hopeful to have something by the end of the year. So I'm hoping this is true because this would be fantastic news.
Well, I think by the fact that they've put this out and that POTUS has commented on it, I've been researching it quite extensively in hopes, because you know that I have several friends and several family members that are in the throes of fighting it. So it's been of extreme interest to me. And it is really, y'all, it's very, very promising. It's very, very promising.
Yes,
so
I hope that story is true. I hope we can get some confirmation stories from other sources.
This is the second article I've read about it.
Okay.
And I've had some other sources, so I'm following it. I'll kind of try to keep us surprised, as more comes out.
I'm leery of Facebook to begin with on stories, but because I've seen some wild ones out there that weren't even close to being true.
I mean, I've seen it on all the social platforms. You have to be careful where you go, but it gives you hope. So we're going to follow it and see.
All right, Doc, we're going to blast to the next one. Is Breitbart. Irony alert. And this is Based Amy from the UK. We know her. Based Amy, irony alert. Trump blimp stabbed in London. That is irony because of all the stabbings.
Of the Trump blimp. Was that not funny? And she was walking away so calmly, and she said, I don't think your Trump balloon is feeling too good. So, Amy, we love you, Amy. I did feel a little conflicted because it is something else's property. But I'm sorry, this once we might just have to make an exception because that was just so tacky of them. I'm just saying.
Amy Wallace, hashtag Amy Wallace, because she's got stones of she's got cojones. Here's Yahoo News. Yahoo News. Trump baby blimp stabbed with a sharp object by pro-Trump activist in London, and that's Based Amy.
Pro-Trump activist.
Oh,
I love it. I had to call my sister and go, Cindy, Amy, my friend stabbed the Trump balloon. She was going, what? I was going, Amy stabbed Trump balloon. And she was going, oh my gosh, you scared me to death. But I was so excited I couldn't even hardly get it out.
Just for one more shout out to Amy, we got another headline here. It looks like World News. Oh no, Fox News. Trump supporter pops massive balloon depicting POTUS as a baby at UK protest. So the baby Trump balloon was popped by, many people in the audience probably know who she is, Based Amy. So, and she's got guts. I'll tell you, I worry about her because she's got fragile health. So, we're
what was so sad is that you can see how lost their government is by the way that those police take delight in being violent with her while they're taking her down. That's what just blows me away, is that they're not even wondering, maybe we shouldn't. This is a lady. We shouldn't treat her that way. She's obviously not a threat. No, they enjoy it. So that tells you something about where they're at today.
That's right.
Did you see what Tigress said? I'm sorry, Tigress. I have to give you a shout out, honey. Yes, Amy has more testicular fortitude than Khan or anybody else that usually comes out against POTUS. So,
and I called that one Amy burst Khan's bubble.
that was good. That's good.
Donald J. Trump, tweet from Donald Trump. Can you imagine crying Chuck Schumer saying out loud for all to hear that I'm bluffing with respect to putting tariffs on Mexico? Well, obviously Mexico was scared because they caved. What a creep. He would rather have the country fail with drugs and immigration than have Republicans give Republicans a win. But he gave Mexico bad advice. No bluff.
And I think they're gonna see that. But is it not sad?
Unfortunately, crying Chuck is my senator.
Politics ahead of our country again. How many times? It's almost like an abusive spouse. How many times do you have to let them abuse you before you get up and say, you know what? Enough's enough. Well, our country's had enough. We're standing up. We aren't going to take your BS anymore. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
This one is from Border Narcotics, and again, the open invitation to Border Mike there to come on the show, and with the stipulation that he knows it's not Cinemax after dark. Border Narcotics, 22 miles of fence down from St. Louis port of entry. So, it says 22 miles of fence down. Does he mean that they've got 22 miles of fence put up? Is that what he's trying to say?
I took it as meaning that they've got it built.
Okay.
And you know what? Kudos to POTUS again. He's done all of this winning. He's built all of this wall. He's changed things. He's negotiated with Mexico. He's done all of that in the face of unbelievable opposition and torment. And the man still rocks.
And so he's POTUS, doing it all for free.
We love you.
He's doing it for free. He didn't have to do this. He's a billionaire. He didn't need to do this. But he's doing this for free.
That's why he needs me to come hug him until his little eyeballs pop out of his head. Because I just know he's not fully understand the depths of our appreciation until I look in his little creepy eyes and tell him that we appreciate him saving our country. So POTUS, bring me to Washington on my birthday next year, honey. We're going to celebrate re-election big time. Woo!
Okay, next one. Unfortunately, I didn't get water. I didn't get a break. So that's an HR violation. But I'm going to try to plug on. We only have 6 more to go.
Okay, we're going to hurry.
Donald Trump, at Real Donald Trump. Didn't Obama do that? Real Donald Trump. You will never be president. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to the winning. While Bette Midler is an extremely unattractive woman, I refuse to say that because I always insist on being politically correct. Oh.
Yo, he's a master blaster troller, isn't he? I mean, he can hug you with one arm and bitch slap you with the other. I'm just sorry, pardon the expression, but I am telling you, that man he rocks. He rocks.
Here's the next one, Doc, and here's why. Probably because of the last tweet from David Brody. Trump's approval rating hits highest point in 2 years.
And
with
we're not going to know.
The bad press, with all the media against him, with the angry Democrats, the fake Mueller report. What else? My goodness, the FBI, CIA, everybody working to run a coup. He's still. Imagine what his approval rating would be without all of that going on. He'd probably be in the 70s.
And you know what? If you think that you know the truth of what it really is right now, dream on. I'm just telling you, I think it's much higher than what they're reporting.
Yep.
I don't think we're ever going to know the truth because I don't even think the polls are right. I again, just like with mainstream media, they've ruined our trust. The press is an activist arm of the Democrat Party.
All right, Doc, we got 2 left. Okay, let's see if we can get through these. Because we got to finish on time, because Ladies of Liberty, they have Border Mike on. They got some big news, I guess. So make sure you tune into that show with James R. Border Mike. And Border Mike, you're welcome to come on the show again. It's not Cinemax After Dark.
Over the head with that one. He's invited. He's going to throw down that gauntlet so casually next time, because we're going to make him put his money where his mouth is and come out.
Okay, a tweet from Greg Abbott. Today I signed 5 laws that crack down on human trafficking that help victims of sexual assault. Thanks, hashtag TXLEGE. I think that's text ledge. A legislation, I'm guessing, right? To keep Texas a national leader in ensuring justice. So, a lot of human trafficking is being cracked down.
Again, all I can say, I love my little governor. And you know what? Y'all watch him, because now I know Chris said he heard some unattractive things about him, but I've been watching him, and I watch him like a hawk because he's in my Texas.
Well, you're seeing some of the
that out of him.
You're seeing some of them get desperate, because I heard a story on the radio today. I'll really quickly run through it because we only got a few minutes. But a woman posed as a social worker, tried to take a child away from a mother, claiming that CPS, Child Protective Services, was removing the child from the home. Fortunately, the mother didn't trust the woman, and it ended up being someone trying to steal that child. So, folks, be on the lookout, because these people are going to get desperate to get children any way they can. The massive crackdown that's been going on for 2.5 years is really starting to affect their trade. And you're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that's being affected big time, hugely, bigly by the Trump administration. Yeah. Every week we do story after story about human traffickers being caught, children being located, rescued. So keep an eye on your kids, because people are desperate now. They're desperate to get your kids, because you're talking about taking away billions of dollars from these people. So keep your eyes on your kids. Don't trust anybody right now, because they'll do anything to get your kids. Last tweet, Doc, we made it. Can you believe it? We had a video. We're not going to play it tonight, but we'll play it next week. Video of Trump at D-Day. Unless you want to play that instead of the last tweet.
I say yes.
Okay. We gave Scott a lot of shout-outs, so we'll skip that. We'll go to the... let me find the video.
We love you, Scott.
Yeah. Here's the video of Trump at D-Day. Oh, sound.
If anybody missed it, the man, it was so moving. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Even some of the left-wing lib nuts had to admit how wonderful his speech was.
All who fought right here in Normandy. They won back this ground for civilization to more than 170 veterans of the Second World War who join us today. You are among the very greatest Americans who will ever live. You are the pride of our nation. You are the glory of our republic. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. To all of our friends and partners, our cherished alliance was forged in the heat of battle, tested in the trials of war, and proven in the blessings of peace. Our bond is unbreakable. From across the earth, Americans are drawn to this place as though it were a part of our very soul. We come not only because of what they did here. We come because of who they were. More powerful than the strength of American arms was the strength of American hearts. These men ran through the fires of hell, moved by a force no weapon could destroy. The fierce patriotism of a free, proud, and sovereign people.
Okay, folks, that's it. You don't have to watch the close. We're going to go right to the close. Go over for Ladies Liberty. We're going to be 3 or 4 minutes over with our close. So if you want to get over there, you can get over there. Otherwise, thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Catch our previous show, Speakeasy Show, with a whole bunch of your friends on at 8:30 every Saturday night before this show. And then, of course, our show. So you can catch us at Winning TV. Or you can find me through Doc Martin at drmartin111 or myself at Meme Fake News. Thank you, everybody. Go ahead, Doc.
Make it a winning week, y'all. Support our POTUS. Pray for him. We're going to catch you on the flip side. Be sure and come back and join us again next week. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, folks, I don't know if you can hear me, but that was a replay of our show. And maybe I'm talking over the music right now. Be sure to catch our show before Mega Promise is kept. The Speakeasy Show. We have about 4 extra guests with Doc Martin and myself. Okay, folks, I don't know if you can hear me, but that was a replay of our show. Thank you for watching.